Hello, friends. Welcome to my vlog. My name is Janelle, and I'm just going to introduce myself to those of you who do not know me in the best possible way I can. How can a person introduce themselves? I'm a writer. I consider myself an entrepreneur, a bicycle enthusiast for sure, an amateur mycologist. I'm growing some oyster mushrooms in my kitchen right now. I live out of central Iowa. I'm a widow. At the time of this recording, I have a 9-year-old son. And also, I've lived with a bipolar 1 diagnosis for over 18 years. I got diagnosed when I was 22. I just turned 40. And through that, I do identify as a mental health advocate and personal coach. But just to let you know, I'm actually coming out of a recent hospitalization. And the circumstances, just both in my life and around that hospitalization, actually resulted in me voluntarily choosing to give custody of my 9-year-old son to my brother and his wife. And I just want to let you know I'm a real person going through real stuff, and I get that every human is on their journey, and especially us with mental health diagnoses. Life it's messy. Life gets messy. And as I was coming out of this episode and just processing everything that happened, I kind of realized that I just want to share my journey, in part just for me, because at times I felt so marginalized and unseen. I wanted to just take a risk. I wanted to embrace radical vulnerability and just see what happened. And then but in turn, I also want to be there for you. Like, if you are listening to this video, I want you to really hear that. I want to kind of make a commitment to be putting those videos out here, to being responsive to the feedback I get. And I want to show up for you. And so that's what I kind of want to tell you is setting the intention. The intention I want to set is to hold space for you and make you feel supported and cared for unconditionally, because I think we really need that. And I want to be part of that, even in my own struggles. And so I'm going to actually start by doing something that might sound a little cheesy, but I want to create sacred space for it. So my sound healing instructor is just this amazing woman. Her name is Natalie Brown. She's out of Iowa as well. When I took a class from her on gongs, and specifically, she had said that part of the philosophical tradition around the gong is that when you strike the gong, it actually vibrates into space for infinity. And I remember when I really sat with that, I thought how empowering it must be then to just bang the gong and feel like I just did something that matters, that has made an impact physically on the universe and will forever. And I think sometimes we can feel like what we do, what we think, what we say, what our intention is doesn't really matter. That, especially when we're feeling defeated, especially when the political climate is scary, which a lot of people are feeling for sure. I think it's really important to maybe sometimes feel that what we do does matter. I want to encourage you to just believe that what you do matters, because it does. And so I'm actually going to start by banging this beautiful gong that my friend Donna made for me. She went to Germany and actually made this gong. And so I'm going to strike it 3 times, and I'm just going to invite you just to sit and maybe sit with an intention for yourself of just whatever part of the day you're listening to this, of just what you would like. Just sit with any kind of intention. And if you need help with that, or if that's not a thing you're used to doing, you could even just think of something you're grateful for. And I'm just going to, bang the gong. So I thought that was lovely. Thank you for sitting with me in that. When I had first come out of the hospital a couple of weeks ago, I did a whole long video on privilege and oppression, and I decided not to post that, and I wanted to do something a little bit shorter. I wanted to touch into this idea of privilege and oppression. Especially as I'm like very aware of all the division in our nation. I think a lot of people feel like that there's just kind of a battle between those who are oppressed and those who experience a lot of privilege. And I did a kind of an inventory on like ways in which I personally experience privilege and personally experience oppression simultaneously. It's something I think it's worth doing. But I did want to like bring into, and I don't want this to sound too like fluffy, but even just being alive in this moment and being able to take a breath is a privilege. Like being alive in this moment is a privilege. And consciousness, being aware, and all that comes with the gift of consciousness is a gift. It's really amazing. And even the freedom to challenge your own thoughts and decide to only hold on to that which is serving you, I think is so big. Like, I don't know, spring is here. And so at the time of this recording, and so I've been doing a lot of spring cleaning, and I'm really been like questioning like what serves me. And we can even, and as you declutter your space, sometimes you declutter your mind. It's kind of a relationship between both of them. And just the ability to like not have to be attached to a thought and then question it and say, does this thought, support my highest good, and only hold on to what serves you. It's a privilege. And also just for me to be here with you and just share space. It's a privilege. I just want to say thank you. Yeah. I did kind of lead, I wrote some notes. I actually made this little notebook the other night. I want to show you, I learned a new stitch called a butterfly stitch. I wonder if you can see how pretty it is. You can't really see it because it's yellow. But I did make a little notebook, and that was something I was pleased with. Well, that's just a little tidbit. I did do a little inventory for myself about some privilege and oppression that I've experienced, but I'm not going to stay on it too long. I do have white privilege. I'm white and I live in America, so there's definitely white privilege. Highly educated. I have a bachelor's in mathematics. I have some graduate training in mental health counseling. And I also feel like I call this sort of a privilege of the mind. I have an entrepreneurial spirit, which I think having the idea that you can control your own destiny is, or that you can just do things is a privilege. And on the side of oppression, which I'm not trying to like stay in, but I just want to make some space, is parts of the female experience have brought oppressive elements into it. And that I have experienced, and I think all women have experienced some element of that. I also have a highly stigmatized, serious mental health illness. I bipolar type 1, that influences how certain people treat me, how the police treat me, absolutely. And even though I have an entrepreneurial spirit, and I feel like that is a privilege, based on the severity of my symptoms, traditional employment actually is just not an option for me, just based on reality, really. And I do like to comment that like, I don't think privilege is inherently good or bad. It's just how we I think we should acknowledge it when it's there, and have conversations with other people who have a different experience with us. But I just think it's important to use it to elevate yourself and others, and to not oppress other people with your privilege, for sure. And yeah, I just feel like the way to go about this is to start within, elevate your own personal energy, and do the hard internal work, vibe as high as you can, and then share that light with others. And yeah, if you're a Christian, which not everyone is a Christian, there's a Bible verse, and I actually can't remember the scripture off the top of my head, but we're kind of we're mandated. It says encourage one another and build each other up. And that's really what I want to do here. It's just, yeah. And so I just wanted to say right now, if you are feeling overwhelmed by the darkness, the division, the chaos in our country, in the world, even in your mind, I just want to tell you that you are seen and deeply loved. If that's all you take from this video, that's what I'd like to share. And so now I'm going to kind of shift to a portion of this video, of this message. I have this really amazing friend named Lance Israel who kind of gets inspired writings, and he wrote something and sent me the journal, and I just wanted to share it with my listeners. I thought it might benefit you, and so I'm just going to read from this big notebook. Again, this is Lance Israel. Father God, beloved sustenance of the universe, raise up your angels in spirit and truth. Help us to go beyond separation and polarization and find reconciliation with you and in you and in all of our relations. Raise us up, our mothers, our sisters, our fathers, our brothers, our sons and our daughters, to believe and trust in love. To know that life is sacred and we are endowed and imparted the great honor to be stewards and caretakers of these lands and of all of our hearts. We are each other's caretakers. We are one body in this one, and one and all. We support ourselves and each other in awakening to this great love in every moment of every day. And in this way, continue to grow in love. Our ultimate and inescapable identity, because we are love, each and every one. And I just thought that was incredibly beautiful. And I'm just going to kind of sum up. Self-care can be a quiet act of revolution against the hate and chaos that wants to rob you of your peace and joy. And so I just want to say, speaking to you as a friend, do something that helps bring order to your physical environment, and your mind in turn will follow. And if that is something as simple as making your bed, just make your bed. Or this is another tip I just want to throw out there. If your house is really messy, which that happens to all of us, clean off just one surface of your house, like maybe your desk or your kitchen table, and then do something that's like self-nourishing in that space, like make a cup of coffee or a cup of tea is what I'd recommend. Or those are just some tips, but yeah. If you ever feel like you would like some personal support, specifically from me, coaching is something I offer, and I make it very accessible. And you can email me anytime at janelle.nyberg@gmail.com. I'll link it in the description below this video. And yeah, if you want to make any comments, I'll try to respond to the chat the best I can. So just thank you. And I just want to let you know I'm sending love and good vibes from Central Iowa. All right, take care, friends.